Okay. All right, y'all. What's going on? Yeah. I have to get some of the static out of the whole situation before I address y'all. So what's going on? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this is the Daily Go Getimism show on this Tuesday, pretty petty Tuesday, all up in your area. April 4th, and this is the Daily Go Getimism show. We are talking about you either believe the police or you don't. You either believe the cops or you don't. Now, what we're talking about tonight, when we say you either believe the police or you don't, we're not just talking about the police, but for our people, with that skin hue, whether it's lighter or darker, whatever the case may be, it's not as easy for us to have faith in the authoritative system, whether you're talking about cops, lawyers, judges, juries, whether you're talking about politicians, lawmakers, government officials, whatever. It's not as easy for us to believe in them to protect us, to serve us, to honor us, to make sure that we are given a fair shake. It's not as easy for us as it may be for other races, other ethnic backgrounds, other cultures to be able to rely on. It's not as easy for us because you know how we have been maligned so much in the past. Now, I'm not doing this show tonight in order to try to tear down the government or to be a rebel or to even change the minds of anybody who is on that type time. But I think it's a good thing for us to just note how our conditioning has led us to either take one side or the other side. In recent years, with I would say, well, within the past 3 years, we have probably all taken a side on or taken a stand on which side we believe is right or wrong when it comes to the government, when it comes to police, when it comes to the way some people are treated versus the way other people are treated, when it comes to privilege, rights, privilege, enforcement. think about think about where we were 3 years ago. 3 years ago, around this time, with the whole George Floyd thing, whether we're talking about the verdict that came down or whether we're talking about the video that had surfaced on the internet, on the news, all around the world. There was mad protest. Meanwhile, there was also COVID-19 running rampant as a pandemic all throughout the world. Killing so many people, hurting so many people, making so many people sick. We were in the middle, right in the, not even in the middle. We were right in the beginning of a shutdown that many people agreed with, many people disagreed with it. And I would say way more many people disagreed with the shutdown than who agreed with it. But at that time, we had to take a stand. And regardless of what side we were on, we had to do whatever was necessary in order for us to be able to go to work, stay home, have enough money, pay our bills, live where we needed to live, and just be alive in the midst of a global pandemic, which hit the United States harder, I think, socially more. I think the pandemic hit us socially way harder than it did for other countries, because in the United States, we believe and we are taught and conditioned that we can do whatever we want to do. The government does not have total control over us, even though I don't think that that's true. I think that the government does have total control over us. It's just that they don't preach that. We are allowed to openly protest against that, regardless of what the results may be. And we don't have to adhere to that, at least openly, at least publicly. So when we watch the police stand on the neck of a black man as he gasped, pleaded, and begged for his life, right there in front of people, right there on video, in front of a camera, in front of people, as we watch the life just slip from a living man's body for uh not even arguable minor crime, minor offense, if any offense was committed at all. From there, I think we all had to take sides. We all had to be on the side of justice, and the side of justice didn't necessarily mean being on the side of the law, and not in this case. Now we've had other cases of police brutality and um, black people, black men and women being murdered on camera. We've had other instances of that, but this one was different because the other ones weren't in front of the type of witnesses up close like this one was. See, when George Floyd got killed, there were multiple witnesses within 10 feet of the crime. We're not talking about a situation where he was shot, bleeding out, or any of those things. We're talking about a situation where you could see from beginning to end a man standing on his own 2 feet, being being accosted and taken down, and watching the life slip from him as many people powerlessly watched him die. So, even if you wanted even if you wanted to believe that many times there were extenuating circumstances that warranted other people, especially black people, being killed by police or being, you know, having their lives taken away from them. This time, it had a greater impact. It really did. It was almost like this situation was in 3D. It was like it brought it right there in front of your face. And as much as you wanted to turn away from it, as much as you wanted to turn the TV off and hope that when you turned the TV back on, then that man would stand up and be okay. Or as much as you wanted for him to possibly go to the hospital and be revived and just almost have lost his life, wasn't going to happen. You got a chance to watch the unedited version of that man having his life taken from beginning to end. And you saw who were the culprits. No way around it. Nobody else to blame. No co-defendants. No accomplices on the side of the victim. It wasn't a situation where they committed a crime and his homies ran and he got caught and he paid the ultimate price. It wasn't a situation like that. It was a situation more like the good guys, the ones who wear blue, took the life of a man while the other good guys stood around and watched. Nobody said, all right, man, that's enough. Or, hey, come on, let's just go ahead and take him in. Or, hey, man, this is probably not good TV. Let's just, we'll finish him off when we get to the station. So we weren't able to turn away. We weren't able to tune into the next episode where, those same actors would play in another action drama or police drama or cop drama. But in this situation, something was actually done about it on many fronts. None of those fronts may have been good enough for your own edification. None of those fronts may have been good enough for your satisfaction. but something was done. The police who was the most responsible for ending a life was taken into custody, later on arrested, charged, and convicted, and is serving time right now. So that's not so that's not something that always happens with us. And so I guess that's something that we can hang our hat on. But the division that it caused the division that it caused between supporters of the FOP, supporters that when that's police and firemen and police, their union, or just the cops, and you know, it's not an easy situation where you find yourself either being on the side of the law or on the side of justice, because the law and justice are supposed to be one and the same. It's supposed to be in the same category. But for us, it ain't. You're right. It's fraternal order of police. What am I? I'm talking about some firemen and police credit. I'm thinking about the police and fire credit. It's been thank you, Carol. Thank you. Firemen and police. You know what I'm saying? I know it didn't feel right when it came out of my mouth. My bad. Fraternal order of police. Yeah. So the law, the FOP, the cops, the lawyers, the prosecutors, the judges, the juries, they are supposed to be the good guys. They are supposed to be the people who render the verdict and make the decisions to get the bad people, the bad guys off of the street, and make things less dangerous and more peaceful and more comfortable for everybody. But the one thing that the George Floyd situation showed us is that in order for us to get to peace, there probably has to be some violence. There probably has to be some unrest. There probably has to be some chaos. You probably have to make a whole lot of people uncomfortable. I know that a lot of people were made uncomfortable in that situation. And 2020 was just such a, I don't want to say it was such a bad year, but what other adjective do y'all have for it? What other word do we have? Like, the amount of people that we lost because of COVID, and with us being on lockdown, if you look at the crime statistics, like in the city of Philadelphia, man, it seems like it might have been safer if it wasn't a lockdown. It was bad out there in them streets, man. It was bad out there in them streets. But I tell you what, the gas was sure cheap. Gas was dirt cheap. Remember that? We saw gas prices less than $2 a gallon. I'll never forget that. But they were just fattening us up for the kill. Okay. So yeah, the crime statistics, as far as violent crime is concerned, it didn't seem like we were on lockdown at all, because all of the bad guys were out there on the streets. They weren't catching COVID. They weren't getting sick. They weren't infecting anybody. But what they were doing was they were making the streets hotter than they could have ever been in any July anywhere around the world. It was crazy. Carol Chamberlain says it was a very small victory, if you want to call it that. Very small. Very small. Because if you look at, like, how the Asians, the Oriental Asians, what they got, and they didn't even have a George Floyd situation. If you look at what they got versus what we got, we like, we had George Floyd in 2020, and with Colin Kaepernick, for all that is worth, what he was doing in 2015, 2016. Well, he started his campaign really in 2000 and around 2000 and what was that, around 2016, 2015, 2016. His wasn't sparked by any single event, but the continuation of unrest, the continuation of having to bring awareness to the unease, unrest, and the disproportionate way that Black people are treated in this country versus any and every other race of people. Some people can't deal with that very well. They don't carry that very well. They not going there. They ain't allowing it. They ain't having it. It's just not going to work. So that's what we're talking about tonight. You either believe the police or you don't. Now, in 2023, what's it going to be? Do you believe the things that the cops do? Do you believe what they say? When there's a dispute between the police and witnesses or defendants about highly publicized cases or even cases that aren't highly publicized, which side do you find yourself leaning towards? Which ones do you which ones do you believe? As much as I may be against the police, I know for a fact that their job is hard. I know for a fact that it's not easy to do what they do. I know for a fact the impact that it can have on you socially, politically, emotionally. You know, I don't know what kind of jobs any one of our listeners has, but I know this. If you are a cop or if you are a social worker or if you work in government assistance, and I have to say work in government assistance because you don't have to be a social worker in order to work in those situations. You can work at the WIC office, you can work at the welfare office and not be a social worker, for sure. But one thing about those jobs that you're going to see day in, that and if you are a psychologist or some type of like a clinical social worker or a psychologist or a counselor somewhere in that field, one thing you're going to be exposed to day in and day out is poverty, crime, despair, disenfranchisement, abandonment, neglect, hurt, and abuse. When you are a cop on the streets, all of the calls that you answer, every last one of them, or maybe 99%, because sometimes you may just be on traffic duty. You know what I mean? And I imagine that for a cop, being on traffic duty is like, oh my gosh, thank you. Because all of your other calls, you are responding to crimes. Yeah, it ain't all tickets and red lights and speeding. You're responding to violence. You're responding to potential violence. You're responding to people being hurt. You're responding to theft. You're responding to people who have been wronged, looking for someone to help them. Day in and day out, call after call after call after call. So mentally, it starts to take a toll on you. And there's almost no way that you're going to be able to resist stereotyping certain people. looking at people in a certain type of way, making judgments, correct or incorrect on cultures. You ain't gonna be able to do it. You ain't gonna be able to do it. If you're a white cop working in the black neighborhood or Hispanic neighborhood, and every call that you have to answer is somebody getting shot, or shots going off, or somebody has a gun, or somebody has a knife, or somebody just got stabbed, or somebody just fell, or somebody just got hit, or somebody just got hurt, or somebody was arguing, or somebody threatened somebody. Day in and day out, call after call after call after call with no relief in sight. You ain't gonna tell me that after a while you ain't gonna be like, man, these niggas don't care about nothing but shooting and stabbing and hurting and bullshitting. And then, even routine traffic stops. You used to hear people lie to you all the time. Oh, I didn't know my license was suspended. Oh, I didn't know my registration was suspended. Oh, I didn't know I didn't pay my premium for my insurance. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, officer, I don't know. Why you stopping me for? What you stopping me for? Y'all don't have no real crime in the streets. Y'all worried about what I'm doing, and I ain't doing nothing. And meanwhile, this is going on, that's going on, and blah 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 blah. That's what you see and hear every day. So with you being exposed to that day in and day out every day, you're not going to be able to resist noticing the people who are doing it. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it's not going to matter. Whoever's calls that you have to respond to the most, you're going to start to say, this is consistent, man. Every time I go to a call, is this person. Every time I go to a call, is that person. And I almost forgot about something that we have to deal with. That's something that police have to deal with heavily in this city, and they don't seem to be dealing with it very well. All of that drug addiction, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. You go down Kensington, you see all them zombies running around there, walking around there, leaning around there, falling around there, sleeping around there, making it look nasty, dirty, and disgusting around there. It's gonna weigh on your conscience. It's gonna weigh on the way that you look at the world, and because this is how you make your living. All right, you know what I'm saying? This is deep. So I'm saying all of that to say that regardless of what I think about the police, regardless of what side I'm on, it's not like I don't understand what they're up against. It's not. My problem is their response to it. Because if nothing else, they are trained and retrained on how to deal with that. Now, how they're going to deal with it mentally and emotionally, I don't know if they're getting the proper training for that. But I have to hold them accountable in one way or another, because although they carry that gun on their hip, nobody put a gun to their head to make them take that job or keep it. Nobody. So I can't say that any or all of those things have led to their corruption. And I can't excuse it. And I won't. And I'm not. And I ain't. So here we are. Here we are. You either believe the police or you don't. Which one do you? Do you believe them? When they say that they follow procedures correctly, do you believe them? When they do things like turn off their body cam, to be able to try to change the story or the narrative of how some things happen, do you believe them? Do you believe everything that you see on video when you see videos? Because they say that you're not seeing everything that you think that you're seeing. Do you believe them? And if you don't believe the cops, who do you believe? Do you believe the victims? Do you believe the defendants? Do you believe the assailants? It's not an easy thing when you really start to pull back the layers of it. It ain't all that easy. It ain't all that easy. Shout out to T Carey, right? Morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Carol Chamberlain, my friend, my favorita, always a good time. Always great to see you. And Stacey White, thanks for coming through tonight. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming through, Ty and Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Thanks for coming through. Good to see you, girl. All right, so yeah. Okay. All right. Carol Chamberlain says, them cameras will tell the truth, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah, but you know, when they get in court, they be like, yeah, you saw this on camera, but you're not really seeing this on camera. I've heard them say that. And they be dead serious. Yeah, you seeing the camera didn't tell you everything that was going on. Look, the man still stood on that man's neck and he died. You saw how they tried to flip it and switch that around? No, he died. It looked like he was dying because the cop was kneeling on his torso, you know, because they don't want to say that he was kneeling on his neck. But that man, they say he had a seizure, or he had a history of epilepsy, or it was because he was high on fentanyl. And, you know, he wasn't crying for his mom. What they say? He calls his girlfriend mom. Some old crazy shit. They tried to convince us that we weren't seeing what we were seeing. They told us, you ain't seeing what you seeing. I know what y'all think y'all saw, but you ain't seeing what you think you saw. I'm like, well, what about the person that was taping you? Because that wasn't no cops. Those were citizens. And it wasn't one or two of them. It was a bunch of them watching you from beginning to end. From beginning to end. They filmed that. They watched that. They begged and pleaded for you to get up off of him. Yo, the man is hurt. Yo, the man can't breathe. Yo, you're killing him. You hear people yelling that out. Nah, he wasn't really kneeling on him like that. It just looked like that. You gonna believe us, or you gonna believe your lying eyes? They flipped it. They bounced it. This time it didn't work. I think in other situations, it would have worked. In other situations, we have seen it work. Rodney King, we saw it work. Yeah. Y'all saw a few officers dealing with a man who was resisting arrest. Yes, you saw that. Y'all saw police officers dealing with a man who was resisting arrest. Nowhere on the camera did we see Rodney King resisting arrest. Yeah, but that's because you didn't see it before they were dealing with him. Y'all didn't see the chase before. Y'all didn't see when he got dragged out of his car before. Y'all didn't see him fighting the cops before. All false. But, you know, video footage in 1992 isn't what video footage is today. A lot has changed. Wait, Rodney King? No, the riots that were handed down from the riots that came from the verdict that was handed down was in 1992, right? But he actually got beaten. He was beaten in what was that? 1991? Was it 1990? It took a while for the trial. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Y'all know how we do. All right. What year was Rodney King beaten by the cops?
1991. According to USC News, University of Southern California. In March 1991, black motorist Rodney King was beaten by 4 members of the Los Angeles Police Department. The brutal beating, filmed by George Holiday from his apartment balcony, appeared on local television and national news, eventually leading to charges against the police.
Leading to charges by the police. No convictions. No cops went to jail. None of that. None of that. So, yeah, March 1991, and then in 1992, right around springtime, about a year later, I'm not guilty on all charges. Not guilty. Not a cop guilty. And that's when in California they did what they felt like they had to do in LA. They did what they felt like they had to do. All right, we can't get justice, so we're gonna tear shit up. Is that the right way to handle a situation? Probably not. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing was done about the injustice. So from nothing comes nothing, right? So we did something to respond to nothing. We did something to respond to nothing. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So shit is real, man. But you know, you either believe the cops or not. You either believe the police or you don't. Okay. Okay, Carol Chambers says, want to talk about irony. A former president arrested today on the 55th anniversary of the slaying of him. I know, right? Oh my goodness. I was watching Martin Luther King's son and his wife, talking about his dad and his legacy and all of that. And it's so crazy how Martin Luther King gave that groundbreaking, that heartfelt speech, that the I Have a Dream speech just the day before. Joe. Yeah. Martin said, yeah, I would love to live a long life. Like he knew he was going out. He said, I would like to live a long life, like everybody else, He said, but man, I've been to the promised land. I already know I already know where it's going to go, how it's going to go. Basically, he knew he was being called home. He knew. And the next day, I don't know if he was called home, but he was sent home. Carol says, that and the fact that you're leaving your family, that leaving your family could be the last time you see them. You're talking about the cops when they go to work every day. Yeah, that's serious stuff. That's serious. That's serious. And to be honest with you, I feel the same way. And I'm not a cop. I feel like every day I leave here, because you just never know, man. You getting stopped by the cops for a black man or woman, it's not, that shit ain't sweet like that. It's not. Because I mean, so many times we have seen the situation that was a honest or level-headed situation. We've seen it go left, and not the good left. We've seen it go to bad left. Carol says, there's corruption in any position. And no, I'm not defending police. I'm just saying, no, because you're right. You're right. There is corruption. If we're talking about government agencies, if we're talking about any situation where we're talking about money, more than likely you're going to see some corruption. The difference between the police and the government is that, like in private business, their corruption doesn't have the type of impact on the community, not just the community financially, but the community emotionally, mentally, socioeconomically. It doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't, like in private business, if I'm shitting on my employees in private business, it's not going to divide West Philly from North Philly, South Philly from Germantown, Uptown, and all. It's not going to do that. It's not going to separate the East Coast from the West Coast, down south from the Midwest and up north. It's not going to do that. Unfortunately, when it comes to the government, when it comes to police, it has the power to do that. Just by one example of one race of people hurting or discarding of the life of another race of people. And it becomes a whole race issue instead of a one-on-one person issue. I'm sorry that it's that way, but it is. But no, it's not an easy job. Not at all. Not at all. Any job where you have to deal with the public, it's not an easy job. You see so many different things in people. I don't care if you're just a cashier in a market. You see how many people get food stamps, have bought food stamps off of people. You can see who's getting it and who's not. You can see the people who really need them food stamps, and who you can see the people who get a lot of food stamps and the food stamps ain't enough. They may have enough food, but you can tell they don't have enough of nothing else. Nothing. You know what I mean? You've seen the balance on the cash part of their card versus the food part of that card. And it starts to weigh on you. You know how they have banks in the hood. They have banks in the hood. And a lot of times when banks are in the hood, you'll see banks move up out the hood. Those branches of the bank will move up out the hood. And you be thinking like, wow, like people in the hood have money. They deposit their money. They save their money. And that's from our standpoint. Because we know our neighbors, we know our friends, we know our family members that live around the way. And we look at it like, we work every day. We're working class people. We're middle class people. Sometimes lower middle class, sometimes middle class, sometimes upper middle class, Just because you live in the hood don't mean that you don't have no money. And it doesn't. I don't mean that. But what it means to business is that, especially when it comes to those banks, they don't make their money by you cashing your checks because they don't charge no money for that. They make their money by the people who are eligible for loans, who pay back the loans. So if the majority of people around your way are not borrowing money and paying money back at an interest rate, that bank can't stay up. Unless they are charging enough fees to be able to handle all their overhead. People who work in the bank, the lights, the rent, all of these things cost money. And if nobody is borrowing money and paying back money at an interest, or at least at a rate where the branch and the bank itself can invest in things around the world where they can make enough money to keep those branches open, then the branches have to close down. So, when you be wondering how come that bank ain't there no more around the way in the hood and all of that, that's why. The economic structure around the way is not bringing people in there that will bring money to the bank. Saving your money, it's not enough. Checking accounts, fees, if you fall below $100 and all that kind of stuff is not enough. It's not enough to keep the lights on. It's not enough to keep the heat on. It's not enough. They need people who they need buildings going up. They need houses being sold. They need mortgages. They need stuff like that. So if the majority of people around the way are renting, banks can't make no money. If nobody's buying homes, banks can't make no money. If nobody's remortgaging their homes, banks can't make no money. And I'm only saying that because a lot of people don't understand that that's how that works. And that's not even the whole way it works. But, because there's more. There's more to it. Okay, anyway. Anyway. Show says, sometimes the truth is in the eyes of the beholder. Truth. Now there's a word for you. You ain't say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You said truth. Well, yep. Words like truth and lies are very subjective. There are lies within the truth. There's truth within the lies. And that's how we have things in law called arguments. That's what arguments are all about. We're trying to filter what truth and what lies are relevant to this case. It's not about what you know, it's what you can prove. So we have arguments, we have burden of proof. We have proof beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal cases. And you know how that turns out a lot of times. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt. What is a reasonable doubt? Reasonable. Carol says, I kind of feel like today was a good day with the arrest of 45. He probably won't do time, but it feels good to me. Yo, Carol, you know how years ago when he was president, we used to see memes, with him being, taken into custody by the cops. And I guess, enough of us was hoping and praying that it was going to happen. Now, we haven't seen that. This cat don't even get a mugshot taken. Not even a mugshot. And you know why they don't want to give him a mugshot? Because this is an unprecedented thing in history. This is so embarrassing for the United States. It is. This is so embarrassing. This kind of thing is only supposed to happen in third world countries. This is the kind of thing that we go to other countries to make happen. These are the kind of things that we go to other countries in order to police those countries while these things happen. The United States government is so embarrassed over this. So, of course, they didn't want him to have no mugshot. People, you know how much his mugshot is going to be worth on the street? They don't want that in their newspapers for the rest of the world to pick at the United States for, like, look, y'all former president, the president right before now. Look, he's a criminal. He's a thug. And on these charges, I watched the video by my man Dr. Umar Johnson yesterday. Y'all know I like Dr. Umar. And lately he's been on point. Now, the title of his video was called the reason that they had to indict Donald Trump. Now, I was on notice when it came to this video because I thought Umar was going to start defending Trump and all of that. And I got to give it to him. Out of all those other black leaders, I've never heard Umar support Donald Trump, say anything good about Donald Trump, or try to act like he was better for black people. He ain't never do that. So for that reason alone, I rocks and bangs with Donald Trump. For that reason alone. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the video. Come on, man. They ain't swiping right. Yeah, it was called The Reason Trump Got Indicted. Now, he was saying that the reason that they had to indict Donald Trump was because, first of all, he's not down with the alphabet gang, the rainbow gang, the alphabet gang. He ain't with all of that. And he was saying that his brand of racism and discrimination and recklessness and his failure to follow rules, yeah, they had to indict him. They had to bring him under fire because, Umar started off by saying that, how all of this homosexuality is taking over the world and the United States is in line with it. And, so it's messing up their position of looking all liberal and he was breaking it down. He was breaking it down. And Dr. Umar always repeats things like 3 times, but some of the points yesterday, he was repeating them 4 times. So, but yeah, Carol, years ago, we've seen all of these memes, these fake memes with Donald Trump getting arrested or whatever. We never thought that was going to happen. That was like a black president before Obama ran. We ain't never going to have no black president. What you talking about? We like, but yeah, no mugshot, no fingerprints. Wait, did they fingerprint him? They ain't fingerprint him beforehand because I don't know how you can fingerprint somebody for a crime and not give him a mugshot. But they made sure that he has to have these exceptions because around the world, on the world stage, this is disgusting. This really is like the fall of America. So who do you believe? You believe the politicians? When they make exceptions for people like this, can you have faith in your justice system? Is every man created equal? Is everybody treated the same? This ain't no hard question. It's not a hard situation to decipher. Mia Cunningham, God damn. What's going on, man? Good to see me some you. Good to see me some you. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Yeah. Carol, you got me with that. She said he probably won't do time, but this feels good to me. Like you just like to see people get their just desserts. See they people get what's coming to them. See that people get their shit. You're gonna It's a little bit of revenge, but you made it happen to yourself. Your wealth is not in question. And I'm making suggestions. You should have did what you did, but you're going down now, kid. So no matter what you try to do or say, you ain't ever going to be looking the same way in the eyes of your people that supported you. They can give you all the money, but they can't get you released. And it's a beast looking all bad on that camera. At least you, save face, didn't have to do your mugshot, didn't have to get caught out there, and you got over on the system. Yeah, you like that, but it's bad, and niggas is mad. Niggas is mad, son. All right. Okay. TK Wright says, I personally had both positive and negative interactions with the police. However, I've witnessed more negativity. Carol says, your truth, my truth, and their truth. Carol says, and he still has Secret Service agents. Mia says, police people. I mean, people. Sorry, I'm late. What up, fam? What's going on, about? All right. Gary says, they said that he got a mugshot. Nah, I ain't getting no mugshot. But he had to make a statement. And the thing is, what those indictments, the details of the indictments have been sealed. Now they got to be open. So we're going to get to see what he really did. Because you got to think, for them to bring this man in, he had to have done, like, it ain't no turning back. Yo, so we really going to be able to see what kind of case they have against them. It's going to be ugly. This thing going to be nasty, son. Yeah, it's going to be nasty. They not letting no report, no cameras in the courtroom. You can't even take no video coverage. You just got to take still shots. They taking it all the way back before time. Now, yeah. Yeah. Carol says, the orange jumpsuit and handcuffs, right? Carol says, I'd buy that picture and frame it. That's why they ain't gonna do it. That's why they ain't gonna do it. It's a collector's item. Oh, Dad, what did I say, TK, right? You said, you mean you rock with Umar. I do. What did I say? I said it wrong. My bad. My bad. But I do. I rock with Umar. Oh, I said I rock with Trump. No, I don't rock with that nigga. No, I don't rock that dirty ass orange nigga. That orange chicken ass nigga. That orange duck ass nigga. No. T. Gary Wright says, Carol, I'd make his mugshot my profile picture. A lot of people would. And that's what, yeah, they ain't have, you know how many, ooh. They said, nah, no mugshot. Yeah, you're right, man. She said a lot of people would have that. People probably bring back their social media accounts like, yo, man, I've been on social media for like 3-4 years. But I'm I gotta go. What? Carol says, I think he already had fingerprints because of his presidency. That's true. You still got to get printed at the scene because you might have been, because those prints have to match the prints that he already has on file. So it ain't like when you get arrested, you get arraigned, you get processed. They still got to do your prints, fresh prints. They can't be like, oh yeah, we know you. We just gonna use your prints from before. They don't know somebody cloned you. They don't know. You could have got cloned, but you can't clone them prints. You got to get fresh prints. He's the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Fresh Prince of Mar-Lago. Fresh Prince of Mar-Lago. Carol says, I think okay, wait. Now you know better than that. Oh, I'm just saying. Jail would be the icing on the cake, so to speak. They keep talking about Stormy and Coleman. But they got that other chick that he paid. He had $150,000 man. Give Stormy Daniels $150,000. This other chick, he gave her 150. She coming through with her story. She like, I ain't, yo, you think Stormy was bad? Stormy ain't got nothing on me. Stormy ain't got nothing on me. I got a check too. He give 150,000 to all his side boos. I got a check. You got a check too. He give 150,000 to all his side boos. You got a check, and I got a check too. 150,000 for all his side boos. I said, you got a check. I got a check too. 150K for all his side boos. All right. Carol says, I did see a picture of him in court looking smug like it was a joke. They didn't riot today, though, right? All right. Oh, look at this. T. Carey Wright says, only artists doing charcoal images in the... Oh, my God. That's back in the day. Oh, remember? Yeah, the charcoal. Yo, come on. Come on. We taking it back there? T. Carey Wright says, plus his new prints are put into a different database. T. Gary says, singing stormy weather. There's more to come. Our Omar watch the rats start running. Okay, no riots, but a few protesters, a few supporters protesting. We're gonna get that. So yeah, man. Either you believe the police or not. Either you believe the politicians or not. Either you believe the government or not. You believe the judges, the juries, the prosecutors, the DA. You believe them or not. Unfortunately, sometimes if you don't believe the good guys, that means you have a lot of faith in the bad guys, and they can let you down just as much. We all got somebody in our family that we have defended to the hilt, defended against all odds, and the odds were stacked way against us. All of us have spoken up for somebody, defended somebody, took up for somebody who was dead wrong. Dead to rights. Wronger than two left shoes. Wronger than the right side of the bullseye. And we're like, you know how it is when you have that conversation with the person that you took up for, that you know was wrong. Like, yo, when we get back to the crib, we got to talk about this, because you got me out here looking real stupid. Here I am speaking up for you. I'm taking up for you. I'm beating people up for you. I'm keeping people off from you. I'm making sure that nobody say nothing bad for you. And you out here doing what they saying that you doing. Come on, man. But he was your favorite cousin. It just so happens that your favorite cousin is a thief and a liar. Fuck you, you liar. Okay. Carol Cheryl says, yes, Carol. When the shit hits the fan, everyone will smell what the Rock is cooking. WrestleMania was the other day. WrestleMania. Do you know Jim McMahon no longer owns the WWE? I mean, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon no longer owns the WWE. Can you imagine that? Carol says, the mayor of New York said he ain't having it and called out Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what he did. All right, y'all, let's do these birthday shout outs. We gotta do these birthday shout outs. Yeah, we gotta do these birthday shout outs. All right, so let's go. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 4th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Lydia Johnson, I do. And she's raising money for the American Heart American Heart Association, turning 48 years old today. Do the damn thing, Lydia. And also, Richie Cox, happy birthday to you. And Karen Kilby, happy birthday to you. And Mika Tillman, happy birthday to you. And Tracy Ann Monique Gordon, turning 44 years old today. And Lily Cologne, turning 53 years old today. And Katina Mosley, turning 40 years old today. And Angel Bahia, my girl Angel Bahia, happy birthday to you. And Hector Dodley, turning 42 years old today. And my girl Kat Williams, happy birthday to you. Catherine. And Melanie Ford, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, going all the way back to the 1992, 91. I said 1992, 91. My man Lake Lewis Jr. He does this sport podcast, broadcast type of thing, man. My man Lake doing a damn thing. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious April 4th, anywhere out there in the world. I hope that day finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit on this April 4th. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. I rock out, rock on to do the damn, the rock out, rock on to do the damn, rock out, rock on to do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, check it out, yo. 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 What side you on? What set you playing? You either believe the police or you do not. You either believe judges and jury or you got. You either believe these lawyers and that you got jerk. You believe the government, but they work to make sure that you don't understand nothing that's going on with your fellow man. But you can also do a lot of things to help you and your people, but you got to go along with a plan. And things might not work exactly the way you want. You get jerked, but at least you control your own destiny. Believe what you got to do. Yo, and I say yes to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We gonna weed things out just like a funnel. Word. Yo, man, I don't know. I might not rock with the cops, but I understand that the cops have a job to do just like everybody else. So, you know what I mean? The justice that's in my heart will not allow me to say something totally off the whole wall, like, yo, we don't need no cops on the street. We can police ourselves. Oh, God. Can you imagine if we was policing ourselves? Maybe it's just my ignorance that doesn't believe in ourselves enough to do that. But I can't imagine us being like, yo, y'all better stop doing what y'all doing. Ourselves are coming. Who? Ourselves. You mean the cops? Nah, ain't no more cops. We coming. What y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing to me. Yes, we are. We got rid of the cops. I know. So, now we can all just run amok. We can just go crazy. Let's get nuts. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another daily go get 'emism show. So So y'all, I see y'all tomorrow. Till then, don't beg, steal, or borrow. Take care of yourself and your peeps. And now, and tomorrow, I see y'all. Glad y'all was down. Let me do my thing on this camera tonight. Thanks for coming through. I was dead to rights, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. One day we gonna stand tall and just ball the money that we got in the pockets. Ain't enough. Got a lot in the stash, got enough cash, and we get our hearts and minds up in the story. The thing won't be scary no more, not gory. And it's about me and you and all of y'all and all of us, and we gonna get disgusted. When the thing gets kind of busted, we gonna let it go open and keep scoping and looking for a better way to make it on out. And I'll see y'all tomorrow on the 5th, no doubt. All right, y'all. So make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And I holla. I holla. Peace, y'all.